This was designed to bridge the gap between, information gap between those in position of authority at the highest level and the Nigerian public. It is designed to bring information to the doorstep of Nigerians, because information is one of the strong pillars of democracy, and the president is always desirous of ensuring that information flows freely from his government and to the public. And so we thank members of Nigerian media and those who are also watching us from all over the country and outside to this media briefing. Of course, I will always remind you that it is part of the core tenets of this ministry to ensure that we give you information that is accurate, that is honest, that is credible, and that is also verifiable. So whatever we do here, like we set out to do in the first ministerial press briefing, it is to ensure that Nigerians get this information that they require. After all, the government is there in trust on behalf of Nigerians. And in doing that, we always say that trust in public communication must be upheld. So it is the desire of this administration, it is the desire of this ministry to ensure, like has been directed by Mr. President, to always ensure that information flowing from government to Nigerians is always made available to them honestly, freely, and without any form of embellishment. Now, like I said earlier, we're returning trust to public communication. And what does that mean? Whatever we say here are things that you can fact check, things that you can verify, so that at the end of the day, mutual trust that should exist between Nigerians and the leadership at all levels will be maintained.
Commercial pricing or is subsidized pricing. Commercial pricing is when the entire cost of producing power is transferred 100% plus the profits to the consumers of power. Subsidized pricing regime is when the consumers are not allowed to pay the full cost of production plus markup, and government has pledged to pay a portion of this on their behalf. That is the regime that we are in Nigeria. We are in a subsidy pricing regime, whereby government provides a large portion of the cost of producing, of transmitting, and of redistributing power. And I must tell you that as of today, before the introduction of the tariff increase, government is subsidizing nothing less than 67% of the cost of producing, transmitting, and distributing electricity in Nigeria. At the current exchange rates, this is going to translate into 2.9 trillion naira for 2024. This is more than 10% of the national budget. Power sector is just a single sector out of so many sectors that government has to attend to. We have the works, we have housing, we have education, we have health, we have defense, and so on and so forth, that are all competing for this meager revenue from the government. So it will be very, very insensitive on our part to force or compel governments to continue to subsidize at that rate of almost 3 trillion for the power sector alone. We just have to be realistic and considerate. We also must ensure that the regulators are independent and there is consequence management for non-compliance by the operators in terms of punishment meted out to a non-compliant power sector player, be it a distribution company, the transmission company, or any of the generating companies. Then the last one that we must achieve at the ministry is consumer protection and value for money. Whatever consumer pays for, there must be commensurate value for it. Complaints of customers must be promptly attended to. by the power sector operators. Then, from the policy formulation perspective, the recent increase in tariff for only Band A customer, which is just 15% of electricity consumers in Nigeria, as at the latest statistics, is a little above 12 million customers in the sector. And this will only affect about 1.5 million customers. The remaining 10.5 million customers will continue to enjoy government subsidy at about almost 70%. And the reason why we did this will be explained in a short while. This tariff review is in conformity with our policy thrust of maintaining a subsidized pricing regime in the short run or in the short time, with a transition plan to achieving a full cost reflective tariff for the sector over, say, a period of 3 years.